What's up, gamers? And welcome back to our continuing coverage of E3 2019 here at Short Pause. I'm, of course, Ben Boyce, joined by Mr. Frankie Ayler and a very special returning guest to the Short Pause stage, Mr. Bender Holt. What's up, buddy? Talk to us, man. What's going on with Bender?
Not much, man. It's good to be back with you guys talking about stuff. Just been staying busy, just working a lot, and things have been pretty crazy.
Yeah, I feel you. Have you had a chance to watch any of the any other conferences or anything? Any trailers?
Yeah, well, not all of them, but I saw the Square Enix stuff, which was pretty cool.
Mhm.
I didn't get to see Ubisoft, or
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
bother watching Bethesda. And I saw Xbox, so that was all good stuff.
You saw the important stuff. The Ubisoft conference. We talked about that last night. I mean, if you're a Watch Dogs fan, it was a great show. But
Mhm.
outside of that, it was very strange. What did you think of the Avengers?
I thought it looks cool. It looks pretty sweet. I love the voice cast. I mean, they got a lot of great voice actors in this game. Um, would like to see more gameplay to really learn what the game is going to be like in the moment to moment action. But what they showed was really cool. I think the story looks great. They said it's going to have like regular updates and stuff. So I thought that was awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that game. I hope it turns out to be good.
So we were talking last night, just between us and Brent and Ben were talking about whether or not we actually saw gameplay in that trailer. Where do you stand? Do you think we actually saw some gameplay glimpses in the Avengers trailer?
I think there was some gameplay stuff like spliced in with the cinematic stuff, like some of that stuff where it showed like Iron Man flying and stuff like that. It was like shown from behind and stuff. I really think there was a little bit of gameplay in there, not like a lot, but I think there was some gameplay stuff mixed in with the montage and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where we were at with it. Just the way some of those like kind of pan back, especially with the Hulk. You can see him jumping around. That definitely seemed like gameplay. I don't know about the picking up a tank and drop kicking the dude standing on the ground. that'd be great if it were, but
that looked like a cutscene. But that was hilarious though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Destin Legary tweeted something out earlier today where they spliced together like 25 or 30 seconds of what they thought could have been the gameplay from the trailer. And I retweeted that earlier, but that was pretty cool. It kind of took all the stuff that we were talking about yesterday that could have been actual gameplay and put it together in a little video. And it's if it's not gameplay, it's probably what they're going for, at least when it's probably a target for the game, at least. So I think it's gonna look really good when it's all said and done. And I got really excited towards the end of the presentation when they were talking about adding new heroes and new areas and presumably new villains and constantly updating the game, and all that stuff's going to be free. Customizing your character and their powers sounds like a lot of Destiny type of stuff in there, which is music to my ears. So I can't wait to see exactly what that game comes out to be next year.
Indeed, me too.
But we are here to talk some Nintendo. And of course, we couldn't talk Nintendo without our resident Nintendo guru. So, Bender, appreciate you hopping on here and spending a few minutes with us, man. Good to get to chat games with you again. So, Nintendo gave their E3 presentation earlier today. Their Nintendo Direct was about 40 minutes long. It was a chock full of Nintendo-y goodness. If you're a Nintendo fan, I think you probably found a lot of stuff to hang your hat on with this one that you're probably pretty excited about. So we'll start at the top. We'll run down the show, and we'll talk about whatever tickles our fancy here. So first off, we got a Smash Brothers little montage at the beginning here, where we find out that Dragon Quest is coming to Smash Brothers, or more specifically, Dragon Quest 11. They're crossing over in terms of their characters. So they gave us a pretty cool trailer with who they're calling the hero, which is the hero of Dragon Quest, and then I was a little confused because there's multiple variations of this character, and at one point there were four of them on the screen. They were all doing moves together. So I don't know if this is one character who has access to multiple variations of themselves, or if there's multiple characters you're going to be able to play. I didn't read or look into this any further than what we saw on the direct. Either of you guys can maybe explain what that was all about?
I would assume that it would be what they call echo fighters, where it's
Yeah.
like one character, but then you can well, I guess in previous games it would be just like a costume swap, but you would swap to a different skin basically.
Mhm.
But this time with Ultimate, I think they're doing actual like character slots for those people. Like Daisy, for example, she's a echo fighter for Peach, but she has her own slot on
Simon
this.
and Richter.
Yeah, exactly. The same thing. So I would assume that it's the same thing. These four characters are going to be like play pretty much the same, but just have their own little character slots if you like one design or over another, I guess.
It looked like they were all doing moves together at one point. Was this just for the trailer, or is this actual gameplay where they're gonna all be teaming up with each other?
I think they might have just done that just to show them off. Like maybe
Mhm.
they just had four people playing at the same time with all four characters or something. It's possible that maybe they joined together like for their final Smash or something. Maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because some of the other Smash characters do a similar thing where they kind of have other characters come in for the final Smash.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So it was a cool trailer. I mean, these Smash Brothers trailers are always cool. They're all CG until they get to the actual fighter itself, and then they start to debut some of the moves and stuff that the character has. But yeah, I'll be curious to see exactly what goes into that character. Looks like Dragon Quest coming to Smash Brothers summer of 2019, so a little bit later this year we'll have access to these characters. Now, are these all included in the what do they call it? The Fighter Pass?
Mhm.
Are these all
Mhm.
in that one?
I
Is there a
believe
separate
so.
one you have to buy?
No, this is still. I believe this is still part of the fighter pass because they said there would be four characters, I believe, introduced. So uh, we got Joker, and now we got Dragon Quest guy, and then the third one we'll talk about. So we got one more left to be revealed.
Wasn't Piranha Plant part of that?
No, Piranha Plant was a separate thing. He was
Mhm.
like a pre-order bonus that you could also purchase separately, but he was not part of the fighter pass.
Gotcha.
Frankie, were you excited to have another sword and shield character in Smash Brothers?
I mean, not really. I mean, I'm not too familiar with Dragon Quest, so them adding these characters really doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm not familiar with Dragon Quest at all. And I was kind of like having another anime guy with a sword. I'm like, I guess it's
I mean,
okay.
there's only like 20 of them in there now, right?
I know. Yeah, you got like 12 Fire Emblem characters, and I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a lot of guys with swords in
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of guys. I mean, there's only so much you can do with a sword, right? In Smash Brothers before
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
just kind of starts to feel similar. So yeah, I'm
Mhm.
curious to see how the Dragon Quest hero will be received and how he'll play. It looks like maybe they're gonna pull in some of the Dragon Quest elements that at one point it looked like he was choosing a spell or something from like an active time battle menu. And I don't know
Yeah.
if that's a part of his character, if they're trying to work in some of the RPG mechanics, which would be interesting. We saw the slimes make an appearance at some points. I don't know if they're a part of his move set or if they're maybe an assist or whatever for the game that's being added in there.
Mhm.
Not entirely sure, but yeah, I'll be interested to see how they kind of differentiate the hero from the other sword characters in the game
Mhm.
once he comes out this summer. And then after that, we got the official release date for Dragon Quest XI on the Switch, which is September 27th. And we have what they're calling the definitive version of the game. It looks like there's some 8-bit, 16-bit portions of the game or portions of the game that you can experience in an old school Dragon Quest style, which is neat. Dragon Quest obviously started way back on the NES when it first launched, so its roots with Nintendo go very deep. So I think it's cool that they have some of that nostalgic stuff kind of worked in there. But September
Mhm.
27th, you'll be able to experience Dragon Quest XI. From there, we moved on to Luigi's Mansion 3. Franklin, take it away, man. Talk to me about Luigi's Mansion 3.
yeah, this looks really cool. I the second you hear the Mario, I was like, yes. Like I love Luigi's Mansion. That was the one of the first games I saved up my allowance for like the entire year. Got a GameCube for Christmas. bought Luigi's Mansion, fell in love with it. So this one looks really cool. He has like a new vacuum, it looks like, or I don't know what we actually call that thing.
The poltergust.
The poltergust. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
but this one looks like you can do some stuff from that Ghostbusters game. You know, you have the ability to kind of slam ghosts around. You have like a little shockwave attack you can do. It has like a little grapple you can use to interact with things in the environment. So a lot of cool new additions to his move set. And it looks like you can also, I don't know if he's like making a gooey. Is it Gooigi? Is that what they're calling that thing?
Gooey.
Gooigi. It's kind of creepy looking, but yeah. So you basically have like a second Luigi you can use to get through, gates. You can walk through spikes, and you kind of use him to solve puzzles to progress in this huge ass mansion, which looks cool. It looks like it's got a ton of floors. Every floor looks like it has like its own theme going on. So it's really excited. I was really hoping this game would be hitting this year. So it looks like I'm guessing it'll be like a November, December release. But yeah, very excited. I love Luigi's Mansion. I think it has some kind of weird online like horde mode. It looked like
It's got the scare with the scare scraper. Is that what they called it?
yeah, something like that. Yeah, so you're kind of going through clearing floors with friends. So if you guys end up picking this up, we were talking about this last night, I think after we were done streaming. But I played a lot of Ghostbusters online when that game came out. So if this is anything like that competitively or just co-op, it's a lot of fun. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm actually a really big Luigi's Mansion fan too. I really love that game on the GameCube. I remember grabbing it with the GameCube when it came out, playing through it, just really, really, really loving that game. It was just a unique take on the Mario franchise, and to see Luigi kind of take that starring role was pretty cool. I love the new moves that we're seeing from him, and like you alluded to there, Franklin, it sounds like we're gonna get a lot more puzzle elements, I think, added into the game with the Guigi and with the plunger or whatever he can use to break objects apart. I can see the wheels turning in the developers' heads as they're thinking of the puzzles that they're going to develop around these mechanics. The Guigi is susceptible to water as well, so you've got to work around that. So there's some cool stuff. Looks like they're doing with the game. The game looks really good on the newer hardware. So yeah, I think they're gonna have a winner with this one. I was a little surprised we didn't get a concrete date. I mean, they told us 2019. Not sure why they didn't put a date on it. Part of me makes me wonder if maybe they're not confident in that 2019. Like maybe this could slip into the future, because they gave us concrete dates for every other game that was coming out in 2019 except this one. So it's a little worrying that they didn't slap one on there. But yeah, I think this is probably a late November, December game for them. If I had to guess. What'd you think of what you saw, Bender?
I liked what I saw. I like that they're kind of improving the game, the adding new mechanics and stuff like that that weren't in the game before. I think that was really cool. I know that the Guigi thing, I think that was originally in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on the 3DS. That's where he was introduced, but he was used as it was like an online co-op mode or something, and your co-op partner would appear on your screen as Guigi. So I believe this is the first time they've incorporated that character into the single player. So it is pretty cool that you're going to be able to use him to split up and solve puzzles and do different things that Luigi can't reach. So I think that's really cool. And I like the scare scraper thing. I think it's cool that it was up to 8 players. So it seems like that can get pretty hectic. So we'll see how that goes. But I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is really cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. So good stuff from Luigi's Mansion. Once again, available in 2019. Don't have a date on that one yet. So moving on from Luigi, we had some Netflix tie-in with Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal. There's a tactics game coming out for that. We saw a very brief trailer. wasn't too much to make of that. But after that, we did see Link's Awakening make another appearance. So we saw a short trailer that highlighted a few more scenes from the game, some of the iconic scenes from the game. They highlighted the new dungeon create mode they have. So it sounds like as you unlock dungeons throughout the game, you can actually create your own dungeons from some of the rooms that you've unlocked in there. And I don't know if you share them online or if you just use them to kind of perfect your craft yourself, but they have some type of a creation mode in there. And then they gave us a release date, September 20th, 2019 on that. Bender, is where's Link's Awakening rank in your Zelda pantheon?
Um, it's it's pretty high up there as far as the handheld Zelda games. I think it's definitely one of the most unique Zelda games out of all of them. It's because it's kind of like more bizarre than some of the other ones, because there's like chain chomps and goombas in the game, and there's like other like Nintendo franchises incorporated into it.
Hmm.
But it was one of the first. I think it was one of the first games that you didn't have to, like, you could switch out your weapons and stuff, and you didn't have to have your sword mapped to a weapon at all. Even like you could do like shield and one of the other items. But it's a cool game, and I'm really looking forward to this remake. I think the art style is really really interesting and really cool. So I think it's going to be a really good installment, a really good remake.
Yeah, are they changing anything with this game, or outside of the obviously the art style is being updated and whatnot on the game, but are they adding anything besides this created dungeon, or is this going to be a pretty faithful remake once it's all kind of said and done?
Not that I've not that I remember them revealing any like extra dungeons or anything like that. I think it's going to be pretty much the same, but just with the the new art. And I think one thing that I did hear is that since the Game Boy was a 4x3 square screen, they had to actually expand out some of the world and like expand out some of the graphics and the dungeons and stuff, just to make to fit the widescreen. So that's one thing that they improved. But other than that, I don't think there's any new content other than that dungeon creator thing that we know of yet.
Yeah, definitely. Frankie, what did you think of what we saw from Link's Awakening? What do you think about this date, September 20th?
Like I said the other day, September sucks. I mean, it's great, but my God, there's so many great games coming out in September that I want to play that I don't even know where to start anymore. But no, I like Bender said. I think this game looks incredible. I really love the art style. When this was first revealed, I was a fan of the art style. I've never played Link's Awakening, but it's one that I remember. It was probably Travis on Polykill was talking about a couple months back, because he just played through it, and I think they had a conversation that, like Bender was saying, that Zelda game did a lot of really weird, unique things that no other Zelda game has done since. So I'll be curious to see how this game performs today with these different updates, and given that Zelda, I feel like now, prior to when that game was released, Zelda maybe wasn't like the giant tentpole like franchise that it is today. Like today, I feel like it's got a much wider fan base. So I'll be curious to see how well that game is received today with today's standards.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a full price game?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
$60. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting. I wasn't sure when it was originally revealed. I thought it might end up being a $40 title, but going full on $60. They do have a deluxe version of the game you can pre-order now for a few more dollars, which comes with an art book. We don't get that cool European collector's edition with the. I gotta admit that's a cool steel book to have. The steel book is designed to look like the original Game Boy, which is pretty sweet. Obviously, paying homage to the game's roots. But yeah, for a lot of people, Link's Awakening is one of their favorite Zelda games. My favorite Zelda game is A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. This game obviously echoes some of that style of Zelda, so I'm very very curious to play through this game. I've never played through Link's Awakening either, so I'm really curious to get this one and fired up on the Switch, see what it's all about. But September 20th, with all the other games coming out in September, we'll make that happen. From there, we got another announcement that I'm pretty excited about. I'm a huge fan of the Mana series. Trials of Mana is coming west for the first time. It'll be out in early 2020. Sounds like this is maybe a remake of an older Mana game. I don't know exactly what Trials of Mana is, but they showed the collection of Mana right after that, and it includes Final Fantasy Adventure, or what it was called over here, which was the first Secret of Mana game, or first Mana game. Then we have Secret of Mana on the Super Nintendo, and Trials of Mana also included in this package. So I'm guessing Trials of Mana is an older Mana game that they're remaking or remastering, and this collection includes kind of the original version of it. But the collection of Mana is actually out today. It's on the eShop right now. And I absolutely love Secret of Mana. It's one of my favorite Super Nintendo games. Such a great role playing game. Had a ton of fun with that when I was when I was younger on the Super Nintendo. Remember that game well. Just remember loving the hell out of it. So super cool that that's going to be available on the Switch in its original form. Any of you guys Mana fans?
I never played any of them, so but I like RPGs, so I might try them out.
Yeah. I bought that. What was that, like a remake or whatever they put out for the PS4?
They remade the first game, which with a different art style and stuff, which was cool. But this is the original has a kind of a nostalgic 16-bit look about it that's tough to beat.
Yeah, so I'm interested in it. It looks really cool. That third game you were talking about, I don't think was ever released outside of Japan. So this is the first.
Yeah, this is the first time it's coming over.
Yeah. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
But it seems like it's in both the collection and it's being remade. So that Trials of Mana, because they announced Trials of Mana in early 2020, and then after that they showed the collection of Mana, which includes Trials of Mana. So I'm assuming that this is a newer version of an older game. A little bit confusing. I will have to read up on exactly what that encompasses, but I'm just excited that Secret of Mana is available in the collection of Mana. It's a great action RPG. Definitely recommend checking that out if you have not checked it out. And then from there, we saw The Witcher on Switch. Talk to me about this one, Frankie.
I'm concerned because firing this game up on an Xbox One S, not a good looking game at all. And what I mean? Like, in the Xbox One S, you can play some pretty decent looking games on there, but The Witcher 3 looks like a weird, blurry watercolor painting. So
a ringing endorsement.
Yeah, and then that's on, fairly competent hardware, and bringing it to the Switch, like the downgrades they had to make to that game to get it playable on there. I look, The Witcher is fantastic, but there's something about exploring that world that once you start kind of taking things out of the environment, I'll be curious to see how this translates over. I would be concerned about it just because it's a massive game, and like I said, competent hardware. We were talking before. Even there's sections where the PS4, the X and the Pro struggle with certain parts. Certain fight scenes towards the end and whatnot. So I don't know. I would be concerned about it. But if this is your only way to play The Witcher, it's worth experiencing, regardless.
Potentially,
yeah.
Depending on how it works out.
Yeah, so we'll see, but I'm not super optimistic about this port going very well.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see like when this game comes out. I'm definitely gonna be curious to watch like the Digital Foundry breakdown on it and see what this thing actually looks like and how it runs. But yeah, you would assume that if they're gonna put it on the system, they're fairly confident that they can get it working at an acceptable level. I don't know who's involved in the porting. If this is straight up CD Projekt Red porting this, I have no idea. But I didn't see any other developers listed on this screen. CD Projekt Red was the only one listed on there.
I don't remember the name of the studio, but it is another studio porting it, and they were like working in conjunction with CD Projekt Red.
Gotcha. How about you, Ben? Are you down for some Witcher at 480p?
From the trailer, definitely did look like it took a graphical hit, but I do think it is cool to have like massive games like this, like when they did Skyrim, on the go. I think that's a good fit for the Switch, because then anywhere you are, you've got plenty of time to play. So I hope it turns out to be a good port. Only time will tell. I guess we'll have to get JD to report back in, because I know he'll buy it.
Yeah, I think he's good for a purchase at least. So there's at least one sold out there.
Who is the ones that handled Skyrim? Their name Iron Galaxy.
That might be the ones who are doing this too.
Yeah, if they're doing this, then I would have a little more confidence in it, because they've done an amazing job with Switch ports so far.
Yeah, I feel like there's two companies porting games to Switch right now. It's them and Panic. What's the other one? Panic Button. Yeah. So it's either one of them two, right? That's got to be this. They're the go-to porting factories for these AAA games to the Switch. So yeah, so super curious about this one. I don't think we got a specific date on that one, but it's supposed to be out later this year. From The Witcher, we moved on to Fire Emblem. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. We already had the release date for this game, right? They told us that a while ago.
Yeah.
So July 26th, they gave us another trailer for it. Not too much new to discuss there. But Fire Emblem Three Houses will be out on July 26th. If you're a Fire Emblem fan, Resident Evil 5 and 6 coming to the Switch. This is a bit of a strange announcement, but I guess if you want to have the entire Resident Evil saga or most of it on your Switch, you'll be able to do that this fall with Resident Evil 5 and 6. Frankie, have you played any of the other Resident Evil games on the Switch? Are they decent on there? Or?
I haven't, but one of my coworkers has, and he says they look really nice. So
Okay, cool. So yeah, so if you are jonesing for Resident Evil 5 or 6, then you'll be able to take them on the go with you later this fall. From there, we saw a No More Heroes trailers. No More Heroes 3 was officially announced. Travis Touchdown has been spending some time with Nintendo in recent years, and he'll be back with No More Heroes 3. So we saw, a cool trailer with him fighting this, this pretty off the wall mech suit wearing character. Any experience with this franchise? I've never actually played a No More Heroes game.
Not me. No.
No, I've dabbled. They put one out on the PS3 randomly. So I'd pick that up and mess around with that a little bit, but basically the whole thing was it's kind of like Bleed. Travis Touchdown's trying to be like the world's greatest assassin. So, you go through and you're killing all these other assassins so that you can climb the ranks and be the best assassin in the world. So that's sort of where his story arc is, but I'm not sure, how that's going to carry into this game because he kind of, made some comments about that, like, oh yeah, I'm the only superhero around. I'm the only assassin left. So clearly he's killed everybody. So not sure who we're going to be murderizing in this game, but the gameplay in that game is a lot of fun. Those boss fights are all pretty cool. So it's definitely on my radar, more so than that top-down shooter beat 'em up thing they put out last year.
Yeah, what was that called?
Travis Strikes Again.
Yeah, Travis Strikes Again. Yeah.
I think that was this year, actually, like January.
Oh, you're right. It was because they delayed it because they're like, oh yeah, we don't want to compete with Smash Brothers.
So what was that? No More Heroes 2, or was there a different game that was No More Heroes 2?
No, there was a No More Heroes 2 around the Wii. No More Heroes 1 also came to the PS3, so this is No More Heroes 3.
Gotcha.
That Travis Strikes Again it's a spin-off game.
Spin-off game. Gotcha. So there you go. So if you were wondering how the No More Heroes timeline works, we've got you covered. We've broken it down for you. So I don't have any experience with this franchise. The trailer was very stylish. Looks like it could be a lot of fun. So definitely keep my eyes peeled for that one. We got just a 2020 date on that. So nothing further to report on the Travis Touchdown front. So from No More Heroes, we moved on to Contra Rogue Core, which is a new game coming out in September 24th. Look, I'm a huge Contra fan. Love the 2D Contra games. I really like. There was one that came out on the PS3 and Xbox 360. I think it's called Hardcore. Is that the name of that game?
It might be. I know that was.
Or maybe that was the Genesis one. Yeah,
that was the Genesis one. Yeah.
There's something core on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 that I really liked. It's got like an animated kind of a very clean line, like anime inspired style to it. It's a lot of fun, hard as balls. Really liked that game. This Contra game, I was not a fan of the way it looked at all. I think this looks like a super generic, like 3D shooter. Not really what I'm looking for out of Contra. Maybe it'll be fun once it comes out, but yeah, I was not impressed by this. I'm really excited about the Contra Anniversary Collection. I've been waiting for that to come out. It's got a ton of great Contra games on it, but man, this Rogue Core was not doing it for me. Either you guys Contra fans?
I think I've only played the original Contra, and I liked it back in the day. It was pretty cool. But this looked so ugly. It was it was horrible.
Yeah.
I was like, it's probably the worst looking game on the Switch. It's got
it looked terrible. Did you think the same thing, Frankie?
Yeah, I couldn't get behind it, but I am excited for the collection. So
yeah, definitely. I'll definitely be picking up the collection. Ton of great Contra games in there. Contra Super C and Contra 3: The Alien Wars are worth it for those 3 games alone. And there's a bunch of other games in there too, which I didn't even realize the collection was going to be that extensive. So
Yeah.
definitely curious to check that out. But yeah, this Rogue Core looked like hot garbage. So we'll avoid that one probably once it comes out. From there, we moved into the high octane like Japanese anime portion of the show. So we saw the Damon Cross Machina, which is out September 13th. And I mean, I don't know a whole lot about this game, but it looks cool. That's for sure. There's mechs flying around. There's things blowing up. There's looks pretty high octane action. Um, they showed this. What was it at a direct some months back? Trying to remember when this thing first debuted. I remember when it first came out, thinking that looks pretty cool. And then they showed the trailer here. It looks pretty cool. I'm always down for some mech action. This one also out September 13th. Either you guys interested in this one?
I think it looks pretty cool. I like action games and I like mechs. So.
I like to shoot things.
Yeah, like when stuff explodes. So it looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. They actually had a demo for this over what was that? Like March maybe? It was a couple of months ago, but they when they had that direct, it was to announce basically they had a demo going, and I don't know. I don't know what it is with the gameplay. It didn't feel right. Like you watch the trailers for this game and like, you're in the action, like there's shit blowing up everywhere, and it just looks like a lot of fun, but and granted it was a demo, but it was very, I don't know how to describe it. It just, there wasn't a lot of explosions, and it was kind of you basically going through and trying to, I guess, earn better parts for your mech, because you kind of obviously start off with a pretty bare bone mech. So I don't know, maybe just because you weren't really like, at that superpower level where you could be running around blowing a bunch of cool shit up. But I don't know, even the gameplay though kind of felt a little stiff, just, like flying around and a lot of the aerial combat.
Really?
I don't know, it didn't feel like a fluid game to me. So I'm curious about it still, because I think it's a really cool concept, and all the trailers we've seen for this game just look really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm gonna hold off a bit just to see how this thing pans out when it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, that's not what I would have expected to hear about this game. That it feels stiff or clunky, and that's definitely not the value you want for this like fast paced anime like mech.
Oh man. Well,
I think we just lost Boyce.
I don't even know how to get him back at this point. Someone will have to send him the link to the thing, I guess. Because we're still live.
We are. Hi, everyone.
Do. I wonder if he can hop back in on Skype. Love technical difficulties. You didn't try out the demo when that came out?
No, because like I was at my old place and there was like horrible internet, so I didn't even get to download it. So okay. I think it's too late to download it now.
What? Who's this guy?
That was weird. Like I got booted out. Are we still?
Yeah,
we're still live. Yeah,
yeah, we're still live. Welcome back.
I was hoping that the whole thing didn't go down the tube, so that's good. Glad
now
that
you sound better, and you're Brent.
Yeah, I said Brent Belsing joined group chat.
You handsome son of a bitch. Welcome back.
Well, I guess I'm Brent for the time being then. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. Not sure what just happened, but just crashed out of the hangout there. So what did I miss?
Live streaming.
Yeah.
Nothing. We were in the middle of a sentence and you dropped out, and then we didn't really know what to do.
Okay, cool. All right, but we're back. We can get back on schedule now. Yo, what's up, Jacob? Shout out to Jacob in the chat. Dude, you broke your brother's foot. What? I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hopefully everything's okay. We are just hanging out and talking some Nintendo this evening as we're kind of wrapping up our coverage of everything that happened during the E3 press conferences. So getting back on the saddle here, moving on from Damon Cross Machina. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce this game. But moving on from there, we saw a Panzer Dragoon appearance. So just caught a couple of brief things after this, but apparently this is a remake of the first Panzer Dragoon, from what I understand. So
Nice.
obviously that was a beloved game on the Saturn. It doesn't look like Sega's not involved in this, right? In this game at all?
Probably not.
Did they? I thought they owned that franchise. It is, but maybe not. Or did they sell it?
I don't know. Nintendo and Sega seem to have a really close working relationship because I know Sega owns Bayonetta, but we haven't seen Sega's name on Bayonetta 2 or 3. So,
yeah. So not sure the logistics of how this happened, but there's a new Panzer Dragoon coming out. Sounds like it's a remake of the first one. Also sounds like it will be coming to other platforms at some point. When asked about this game, the developer stated that they can only talk about the Switch right now. They can't comment on any other platform. So to me, that's basically just reading between the lines. It probably will be elsewhere at some point. Maybe not day and date with this one, but this is coming out this winter. And I mean, if you're a Panzer Dragoon fan, I assume you like what you saw. It was a very brief trailer. Looks very Panzer Dragoon-y. So from what I know of Panzer Dragoon, looks exactly like what you would expect it to look like. You guys ever play that game? I know it's really well regarded. I've never actually played a Panzer Dragoon though.
I've never played it. I think I had heard the name before, but I had no idea what it was. And when the trailer started, I was like, "Is this a Star Fox game or something? Is that gonna be Fox riding on that dragon?" So
Yeah.
I had no clue what it was, but it looks interesting though.
The long-awaited Star Fox Game of Thrones crossover was finally becoming a reality. Just
Well,
see,
he was on Dinosaur Planet and Star Fox Adventures. He could ride a dragon. You don't know.
dude, I would pay money to see Peppy mount the dragon and just start wreaking havoc on people. I would totally do that. Yes, moving on from Panzer Dragoon, and Platinum came onto the screen to show us Astral Chain. Got a release date of August 30th. So in typical Platinum fashion, this game looks like high octane action. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So August 30th, I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on this one. Frankie, I know you're pretty excited about this one. What do you think about what you saw?
I am. I love Platinum. This looks like a typical